59-year-old Darren Lucas was struck by a vehicle in Zion, Illinois by a TikToker who was on live with a full panel with her grandkids in the car. And people are not even saying the man's name, but yet they want to talk about this. Let me say this and be very clear. If something happens on the internet, people on the internet can absolutely talk about it. Regardless of whether they're getting views or not, stop being mad that your views aren't doing numbers. I digress. At 5:46 p.m., Darren Lucas, 59 years old, was struck by a vehicle that was being driven allegedly. And the only reason why I'm saying allegedly, because I haven't seen a police report nor a conclusive investigative report that links the creator T-Time to this gentleman. Now, that's what the article says. I didn't say it. So until we see that conclusive report, we're just going to say what the article said. She was on live and all you hear is do-do-do-do-do. Someone said, "What happened?" She said, "I hit somebody." She then cut the live off. People that are on TikTok, let's be very clear. In the terms of agreement, in the community guidelines, as well as on the live stream, you are not supposed to be on live while you're driving. Let's be very clear about that. However, people, including myself sometimes, put on the green screen and still do it. Now, admittingly, I will acknowledge, I will put my phone in my passenger seat until I get to where I'm going, just because I still want to stay on live and I don't want to get off. You know what I'm saying? Till I get to my destination. When you look at the video, her specific video, speaking factually and objectively, you can see her face, meaning if you're using a green screen, the only way to see your face is for the phone to be right here. Meaning, while driving, you literally have a phone in your face. Someone said, "Oh, she had a holder and she had something." The only way that can happen is if that holder is hanging from the sun visor. The only way that can happen is if that holder was on the top of her steering wheel. That man was hit on 33rd and Sheridan in Zion, Illinois, across the street from the Piggly Wiggly. If you Google map that location, the speed limit in that area is 35 miles an hour. I had a young lady come on my live and say, you can absolutely be hit at 20 miles an hour or less and still be unalived. The facts of the article are this. The guy was hit. The police arrived on scene. They tried to administer CPR. Then the paramedics arrived. They tried to administer CPR. They transported him to the hospital to whereby he succumbed to his injuries and he was thereby unalived. Now, the state of Illinois has very strict distracted driving laws. And it says specifically, because we looked this up on my live, that in the state of Illinois, social media is not to be used. Now, for those of you that are indicting the character of this woman, that is your own personal choice. However, what I don't agree with is people saying that individuals can't talk about this. What I don't agree with is people telling their supporters to mass report people's lives and content because they're talking about this. There was a young lady that came on my live and said, "I stand with her and I don't care who feel a way about it." That's your personal choice. You have every right to do that. However, you have to also simultaneously understand that people have a right to criticize that. Where do we get off thinking that our opinions are just gold and everyone should just accept it? It don't work like that. The bottom line is, she was foul. Regardless of whether you do it or not, regardless of whether that was your friend or not, to not be able to acknowledge that that was foul is crazy. Also, please stop saying that was her kids in the car. Not that it makes it any better, but we got to have facts here, right? It were her grandkids. So people calling her an unfit parent, again, subjective. But if we're going to talk facts, let's talk facts. But here's the problem with that. When you try to make these semantic arguments, you sound crazy. The bottom line is this. She was either on live before she got in the car or got on live once she got in the car. Continue to be live. Pay more attention to her live than to the actual road that she was driving on. Since when do we just throw all intelligence and logic to the wind just because we like somebody? Is that what we doing now? And now 59-year-old Darren Lucas is unalived as a result of it. My thing is this. If you're going to make content, and especially be sincere about it, at least say the damn man's name. Good day, goofies.